Hello everyone, hope you're well, and today's video is going to be all about moving averages. We're going to go over moving averages, exponential moving averages, death crosses, and finishing off with a shockingly simple strategy that I've been using for years with exponential moving averages. And guys, let me tell you, once you know this strategy, it is likely that you will not even want to finish this course, and I highly recommend against doing this. Do not start trading until you have watched and understood every single video. Watch them as many times as you need. There's no rush. The market does not close and it's not going to disappear next week, so take your time to really understand every single video. So, what are moving averages? Moving averages are very simple lines that take the average price of whatever setting you give them and produce a smooth line that filters all the noise from price fluctuations. So let's look at an example and let's put our moving averages on the chart. So you're going to come over here to indicators or press / and type in moving averages. So we're going to put in 3 of them, and you're going to come here and you're going to customize them. One will be the 50, and I personally like to keep the 50 as yellow. Another one will be the 100, and I like to keep it as dark red. And the last one will be the 200, and I like to keep it as white. Now, if you have the 50 moving average, which is this one here, the yellow one, and you put it on the daily chart, it's giving you a line based on the average of the last 50 daily candles. If you put that same moving average on a 1-hour chart, it's giving you a line based on the average price of the last 50 hourly candles. If you put this on a weekly chart, it's giving you a moving average of the last 50 weeks. These moving averages are very flexible. You can change the average number to virtually anything you want. If you want to change the 50 MA to say a 30 MA, the only difference is instead of the last 50 candles, it'll take the average of the last 30 candles of whatever time frame you are on, okay? So then you have exponential moving averages. And what are exponential moving averages? To give you a full explanation of it, I would have to be getting very technical in terms of mathematics, which is fine by me, but I'm hopefully correctly assuming that most of you are not quite interested in the complexity of this mathematical formula. So in short, an EMA, or exponential moving average, places greater importance on the recent price action. A 50 moving average, a simple moving average, when you put it on the daily chart, it's putting equal importance on all of the last 50 daily candles, meaning no candle is more important than the other. But with EMAs, exponential moving averages, you are putting more importance on the most recent candles. So if you have a 50 EMA plotted on the daily chart, and let's say today is August 10th, that means yesterday's candle, the one on August 9th, is more important than the candle on August 8th, and more important than the candle on August 7th, and so on and so forth. Now, these moving averages do not hold much meaning at a short time frame. If you take a look at them at a 1, 2, 3, 5 minute chart, they hold pretty much zero meaning. The longer time frame you look at them, the more relevant they are. So what I do is I use EMAs, as I'll show you next, for short time frame strategies. But to examine a long time frame, I only use simple moving averages. Now, these moving averages have been around for quite some time, considerably more time than cryptocurrency. Therefore, a lot of the MA rules will not apply to this market. They will only apply for, equities, commodities, Forex, and other markets. However, particularly at a high time frame, such as a daily or the 4-hour chart, they hold a lot more meaning in terms of support and resistance. So let's take a look. So we're here on Bitcoin's daily chart, and as you can see, the 200 moving average has held a lot of importance on Bitcoin. So if you see here, you have the 200 moving average holding as support here, and then you see it completely rejecting it as resistance here and over here. This one will be green because it's acting as support. The way this works is once the price falls off of one moving average, it will look at the next one for support. So as you can see here, the 50 moving average held beautifully as support for multiple times. This is once, twice, 3 times, 4, 5 times. It held the price up for 5 times as crucial support. Once we broke out of it, look how nicely the 100 moving average played here to keep the price up. And when this failed, price went for the 200 moving average, right? And then remember, once support is broken, it becomes resistance. So once we broke out of here, you then have the 50 moving average and the 100 to look for as resistance. So as you can see, price couldn't even get past the 50 moving average here, and if it did, it would soon face the 100. Once it dipped past this moving average here, it couldn't even get past it, right? Now, it's important to note that depending on what time frame you have on, the result will change completely. It is very likely that the coin found support on the 50 moving average at the 4-hour chart, but blew right past it on the 30-minute or 1-hour charts. Take a look at this example here. This is August 30th. This is live, and I've long finished this course, but I wanted to add this important segment to it. So as you can see here, you have on the 4-hour, the price is already reacting to the 200 MA as for support. But if you go here on the 1-hour, it is not even reaching the 200 MA and blew past the 50 and the 100. Let's go back to the 4-hour, and as you can see, it's even opposite direction. Here you have the 200 first, then the 50, then the 100. If you go on the 1-hour, you have the 50 first, 100, and 200 last, okay? So you might be wondering, this is confusing. There are endless time frames. Which one should I be looking at? First, let's not forget what we went over on the time frames video. If you enter the trade based off of the 30-minute time frame, you make every single decision off of a 30-minute time frame until you exit that trade. Second, the way you have to look at it is, say you're looking at the 1-hour chart and price moved below the 50 moving average like we see right here, and then the 100, right? What this means is you're in a small degree bear market, because then you go on the 4-hour chart and you see it hasn't even touched the 50 yet. That just means it is looking quite bearish on a short time frame, but it is not looking that bearish at all at a high time frame. To keep things simple, I highly recommend you only using simple moving averages at a 4-hour chart or above. So before we proceed to the EMA strategy, I want to show you what a death cross and the golden cross are, as you likely have heard of at least the death cross already. So for that, let's take the 100 MA out. Now, a death cross is when the 50 moving average, which is this one right here, crosses over the 200-day moving average. So that happened right here, okay? This was a death cross, right? And there was some sell-off when that happened. So again, let me write this down here. Death cross, 50-day moving average crosses over 200-day moving average. Okay, so we can also draw this. Okay, and this line here will be white because it represents the 200-day moving average, and this one here will be yellow because it represents the 50-day moving average. So this is a death cross. So now let's come over here and see what a golden cross is. Okay, a golden cross is the exact opposite of a death cross. A death cross, like we just said, is a 50-day crossing over the 200, and a golden cross is a 200 crossing over 50-day. So this one will remain yellow, and this one here will be the white one because it is a 200-day moving average. So what do these crosses mean? The death cross is when you're officially in a bear market, and a golden cross is when you're officially in a bull market. So are these crosses important? Not really. They're mostly used in Forex and stocks and other markets because cryptocurrency is not mature enough for these to hold any meaningful value. So yeah, we did see some sell-off here on this red candle, but arguably this would have happened regardless of the death cross. Alright, so now we're going to go over the EMA strategy, and for that we're going to come here to indicators or press /, and we're going to go over to EMAs, and we're going to put 4 EMAs on the chart, okay? Now you're going to format them accordingly. We're going to come over here to the format icon, and one will be the default 9, one will leave him as is, the second one will be a 14, The third one will be a 21. And the last one will be the 55. Okay? You can put them in any color that you want. I personally keep my 55 EMA as yellow, and then I have the 21 as orange, like this. I then have the following one, the 14, as pink, and then I have the closest one, which is the 9, as baby blue. All right? So what you may have already noticed is when the 55 EMA is on the bottom and all the other EMAs are on top, like here, we are in a small degree of a bull market, right? And the inverse of that is true. So for example, here you have the big 55 EMA on top and all the others below. We're going to annotate that here. Let's grab tool here. I'm going to put 4 of them. Okay. This one's the 55 EMA. This one here is the 21. This one is 14. And this one here is the 9. The only reason I'm making this here is so you can screenshot in case you will be using this strategy. And now we're going to do the other side. So we can just copy paste each and just change the direction. Okay, recapping. When the 55 is below all the other moving averages, you are in a short-term bull market, and the inverse of that, so when the 55 is on top of all the other moving averages, you are in a short-term bearish market. Feel free to screenshot this, and now we're going to go and actually examine how these trades would have played out, and I'm going to show you exactly what the strategy is, okay? I like to particularly use it on a 4-hour, 2 hours, only because I use this mostly as a swing trading strategy and not as a day trading strategy. So let's see right here. You would have opened the long right here. You opened the long there, and you would have closed it right there. So that is a 23% profit trade in a matter of not even 2 weeks, 11 days. All right, let's go. Let's see here. You'd have entered here. You'd have entered right here, and you would have closed, well, in the same position actually. You'd have closed right here. So let's see how much that would have made you. That would have made you 68% profit in a matter of a month and a half. These numbers are quite big, guys, quite big. For very little risk as well, you really can't ask for better than this. All right, let's look at 15-minute time frames. The beauty about this strategy is that every time that you close your position, you can open the inverse. You can go all day with this. Okay, let's say you open the short here because the 55 EMA is clearly on top of all of them, right? You put a stop loss somewhere around here, and where would you close it? You wouldn't close here. You'd close right there. Here you go. This is on a 15-minute time frame. So here we go. You would have made 3% profits in a day, right? And the moment that you close your short, you can open a long here. So then you open a long, and in this case, it would not have worked out well, but you still made 0.5%. What is this? Not even a day? Yeah, 12 hours. And then you open up a short because every time you close your long, you should open up a short, and vice versa playing this strategy. So now you open up a short right here. And where do you close it? Right here. So then you'd have made yourself 1.5% trade in 12 hours. And then you open up a long. So now you open up a long, and this one would have worked out well, very well. So you open up a long here, and where do you close it? You don't close here. Bear in mind, you have to stick to the strategy. You don't close here because the 55 EMA is not on top of all the other EMAs. You have no reason to close here. You let it go. You let it ride. You let it ride. You still haven't closed, and you close. I still would not have closed there. Look, the 55 EMA is not clearly on top of all of them at all. So you let it ride. Not closed yet, and you close here. All right, so let's zoom out. So you would have opened a long right here, and you would have closed your long right there, right here. So you'd have made yourself an 11% trade in a matter of 4 days. We haven't even caught a negative trade using this yet. Let's see if we can find one. Okay, so you closed your long here, and then you opened up a short. So you let it ride, and then you close your short there. Now you open up another long, let it ride, and then you close your long there. You know, these are always, 4% trade in 22 hours. You close your long, you open up your short, and then you close your short there. So this is a small trade, 1.5%. And then here you close your short, and you open a long, and you close it there, 3%, 1 day, 1 hour. And you keep doing this again and again and again and again. And it doesn't matter where we go. So now we're going to take a look at other coins, random coins, and you're going to see how this strategy works all the time. Okay, so before we proceed with analyzing EOS on this EMA strategy, I want to bring out to your attention the one drawback of using this strategy. Sometimes you will miss exit and entry points, especially if you're on say a 30-minute time frame. You will constantly be missing out on a lot of entry and exit points because you're simply either asleep or not at the computer. You can technically find a bot that will execute these trades for you, although I will not recommend that. So what I do recommend instead is TradingView actually has an alert feature, which is right here, alerts. And the alert feature, you can pretty much set an alert for just about anything in this market. You see here, this is the 21 EMA. It's always the last one to cross, correct? With me there? It's always, no matter what time frame you're at, no matter what direction, it is always the last one to cross in time. A strategy that you can use, and I've been using it for a long time, is you can set alerts that alert you via text message or email, depending on what plan you have, when the 21st EMA crossed over the 55. I'm going to show you how to do that. So you come over here to the alert bar, and then you tap here the symbol, set alert. And then in here, you will choose the 21st. And then you keep this as crossing, and then on value here, you will choose the 55. So therefore, you're being alerted every time the 21 EMA crosses the 55. And then you can customize this as you wish. And then you just click create, and it'll be right here. And it will show as active on the EOS symbol. And it will text you anytime that the 21st EMA crossed over the 55. Now, we're going to look at EOS. Let's use this on the daily level first and see how it would have played out. You can see here, you would have opened your long right here, right? And where would you have closed it? Right here, right? Exactly. This is an astronomical gain. That's 1,080% in a 100-day time period. You can't get this anywhere else. This is insane. But at the same time, you bear in mind that this was an unrealistic bull market that happened in December that no market has ever witnessed before. You always take these insane percentages, especially on the daily level that I'm saying, with a grain of salt. All right? But as we've seen, as I've showed you already, this works on every time frame. So let's keep going. So here, you would have opened your short, right? And then you would have closed your short right there. So this would have been a simple trade that would not have yielded much. It still gave you 25%. It just took a long time to give that. So then you open up your long, right? Because when you close your short, you open up a long. And you can keep doing this all day, guys. In here, you open up your long and you close your long. Not here, but there, right? So now you open up a long here and then you close it right there. 66% in a matter of 2 months. And then you open up your short and you're already, as we speak in July, 50% in the green with this short. No reason to close it yet. So you just let it open. Let's look at, 1 hour. All right, here we go. You open up a short here, right? You should always be putting stop losses. Even though this is a very simple and efficient strategy, it is no excuse to not use a stop loss. So that's why I'm always using these long and short positions here you see on my cursor, because I want you to get used to always using them and always putting a stop loss no matter what trade you are in. Here you'd open up a short, put a stop loss somewhere around here, and then you would have closed it right around here, right? So there you go, 17% in a matter of 6 days, right? So then, you know what I'm going to say, right? You open up a long. You open up a long here, and you close it right there. 17%, 4 days. Open up a short. In this case, didn't work out quite well. You open up a short here, and you close it. Haven't closed it yet. Haven't closed it yet. Close it here. So there you go, 7.3%, 3 days. Alright guys, so in the interest of time, I'm not going to go over more coins and more time frames, but feel free to do that on your own. Feel free to pull up TradingView and go over many other coins, go over commodities, go over stocks, and use 1 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute, use all the time frames, and you will see that it does work. So now you may be thinking, hey, did you just find out a way to essentially print money? No. I'm not claiming that at all. This strategy, like all strategies in trading, have their disadvantages. So let me show you the 2 main disadvantages of this strategy. So number 1, we already went over it, and it is that you will not ever catch the top. You can even see right here on this, like right now in front of us. If you were doing this on a daily level, you would have purchased somewhere around here, and you would have sold somewhere around here. Now, although that is an insane amount of profits, you know, over 300%, you're still not catching the top. You're still not selling anywhere near here. All right. So that's disadvantage number 1. Disadvantage number 2 is that a lot of times you will miss entries and exits. That's just for sure going to happen, because a lot of times, even if you have the alerts over here that I showed you a few minutes ago, those alerts sometimes will come during the nighttime. And there is absolutely no need for you to keep your phone next to your pillow so that you wake up every single time that there's an alert ringing. That's why we use stop losses. So you always know when you go and sleep, you know that worst comes to worst, that trade would lose you, 1.5 or 2% depending on where your stop loss is. So those are the 2 main disadvantages. You will never catch the top, and you will likely miss entries and exits. Having said that, this strategy is a great one, right? I've been using this for years, and I've traded commodities, I've traded Forex, I've traded other markets, including gold, and this works, okay? Right now, as we speak, I have open positions entered based off of the strategy. So you can keep day trading and always have some funds invested using this strategy, because absolute worst comes to worst is you lose 1%. 1%, 1.5, depending where your stop loss is. But you always have the possibility of making a lot more while keeping your risk small, okay? And that's the point of the strategy. Now, having said that, I don't want you to just drop this video right now and jump immediately to implement this strategy. I want you to finish this course. I want you to grasp everything that I'm telling you, and then once you finished everything, feel free to try out this strategy on your own, and I'm sure that you'll find it quite successful. All right, so having said that, I'm wrapping up this video, and I'll see you in the next one.